All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to track three, session one in optimizing Zoom workflow automations by creating custom actions with Connect and Build Flow. I'm your host today in this sessions, but before we start, um, just to take a quick moment to read the safe harbor agreement statement. Any forward indications of plans of product, including the development release and the timing of the features functionality is all preliminary. So you shouldn't make any product purchasing decision based on this. But with that out of the way, I'm your host today. My name is Brandon Tam, and I'm the Senior Platform Product Manager in Zoom. And this is our quick agenda. So welcome to the sessions. Um, so just to kind of do a quick recap, last summit, we talked about Zoom Connector Service and the framework. And we talked about the Zoom Connector framework. And the promise of the framework is that there will be one app you can only build once, and it applies for many different use cases. We basically take the heavy lifting from you as a developer. You don't need to worry about setting up databases or creating servers. You just need to bring your definitions, and we basically make all the calls for you. And it applies for many different use cases, and workflow is being one of them. This is why we're here today, because we are excited to share with you that connector use cases for workflow automation is now available for developers to build and for a customer to use. So we want to talk a little bit about workflow automations. What is workflow automations? Um, it's not a new concept, obviously. Workflow automations enable your app to work seamlessly with your customized workflow. It basically allows you to connect Zoom Workplace with the Zoom platform and all these other apps. It gives you an opportunity to expand your audience and increase engagement, and also allow you to automate and your work. Today, we're going to show you two demos. One is the case study with Zendesk. So we're going to show you how to build and this is a powerful use case because you're going to have your customers wanted to think of a scenario that you have customer support and you want to streamline these support tickets into your Zendesk, right? And this support chat might come in from your team chat, and you can basically orchestrate work without having to navigate in between two different systems. So in our demos today, we're going to show you how to build from start to finish on this connector, and also how to apply the connector that you just built into workflow and configure it and see it, the message go into the Zendesk. So without further ado, we're going to show you a demo in here. This is a pretty lengthy demo, but it goes from start to finish on building a connector. All right. In this recorded demo, we're going to show you how to set up a very simple connector using Zendesk Ticket API. So first of all, you want to look at the API specifications and see how what type of authentication authorization method you can use to call the API. In the Zendesk case, we can use either an API token, or you can actually use authorization code grant. So in this demo, for simplicity purposes, we're going to use the API token. Of course, prerequisite is you should have a Zendesk account. I have my trial account next to me and some of the credentials. So let's get started. You want to start from the Zoom Marketplace, just like you're building an app.
you want to go to Build Apps and select General Apps. Now click Create. The next step is pretty straightforward. You want to choose whether your app is user managed or admin managed. Admin manager is just kind of like administrator, distributing the entire app for every user in the account. So install once, user individually installing for themselves. So we're going to stick with user managed in this case. Then the next thing is you're going to navigate to connect. So you have options to upload API specifications. So if you're dealing with multiple APIs at the same time, you can simply upload a YAML file, JSON file that is using the Open API specification 3.0 or higher. Or you can simply type in the endpoint yourself. We're going to do the latter just to showcase how to do it manually. But first, we're going to start by providing the base URL and specify the authorization methods on which we're going to use to call these Zendesk API. So I'm going to use my base URL in here. You can find this base URL in your Zendesk account. And next, I'm going to put in methods. Again, going back to the Zendesk documentations, I'm going to use a base API token. In this case, we're using basic auth. So you can add a test connections in here. A connections on a connector essentially is basically your credentials in the most simple term. I'm going to go ahead and add one. Provide my username in here. And then also password, which is the token that you generated on the Zendesk side. Let the base URL one more time. And then click save. So now I've set up my test connections in here. So I'm going to go ahead and add my first endpoint. So going to the API specifications, we're going to use tickets. And we're going to use the create tickets examples in here. So you go to create tickets in the API documentations. You get basically the endpoints in here. So we're going to take this endpoint and say add a new endpoints, and we're going to put it nicely in here. We'll make sure the methods is post. We'll say tickets. So next thing we're going to do is when you're creating something, we're going to have a request body. We're just going to nicely take this example body already provided us here in the documentation. We're going to navigate to body, say parse JSON schema, click OK. So you can see everything is pulled in nicely. We can change the display name in here. So this display name essentially is going to show up to the end user. So you want to make sure this is something end user friendly, so they can understand if these fields are being asked for them to be provided. They know what to put in, what do they mean, and such. And after we say all this, we can run a test. Test value can be completely different, so I'm going to do it one more time in here to provide my test body. We can actually change it. I can run a test. And you can see the API is being called successfully. So now everything looks good. I also want to pull in the response. We're going to do the same thing one more time. As you can see, I'm going to pull in the response from what I call the API. So these outputs value will also get to be saved. There is a lot of output values. Sometimes, especially in these ZRM use cases, you can go ahead and decide which one you want. But just for demo purposes, we try to keep it simple. I'm going to remove a lot of them. Just to keep things easier to config in the next step. You're just going to keep ticket ID and ticket URL. I'm going to save the changes. Now I have one API endpoint configured in Connect. The next things is now we're going to navigate actions. This is where you can create your custom actions that is associated with the connector. It's pretty simple. You just click new actions. Say this action now is about creating a Zendesk ticket. We'll just say create tickets. This action ID is just will not be shown to the end user, so you can name it just something that is relevant. The description will though, so you want to say something like this. Give it a nice logo. I have a Zendesk logo ready in here. We're going to use this one. And then the next thing you want to do is basically leverage the connector endpoint that you just configured. You can, if you have more than one, you can just choose it from here. But since we only got one, we're going to do this next. And now you can see the request body, which is input in this case for your custom action, and also the response, which is the output of your custom action, will be showing up in here. What we're going to do is give it a nice little description. Doesn't matter what you type in here. This is just for demo. But when you actually are configuring it, you want to give it a description that is relevant, makes sense. I'm going to hit next. In here, you want to select workflow actions if you're configuring your connector for workflow. But there will also be other options eventually made available in this particular step, like AI companion, chat, mail. So essentially, you can configure your actions to show in multiple places within the Zoom platform with just one API definitions. So I'm going to hit finish. And basically the next thing I'm going to do is to install the app. I'm going to go say add app now. And again, you see this page because this is now actually an end user installing the app. So if you were to distribute the app, I'll show you in just a second how do you allow your end user to see this app as well. And install the app for themselves. So you can use the shareable URL, just like how you would share the Zoom app today with your end user. But for, again, demo purposes, I'm just going to use the account level token that I have on the Zendesk side. So now the app is installed for me. Oh, actually, I forgot one thing. I should have added a logo in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And change this to should get reflected immediately. So now I want to navigate to workflow and see if my app is being installed. So I'm going to click on any new workflow, and you can actually see your Zendesk test app in here. And also the create ticket steps. If I were to drag and drop and see it, so you can see your inputs in here. All right, so this is how you set up a connector with custom action.
All right. Let me share my slides again. Yeah, so that was a quick demo of showcasing how a connector is being built. Hope you guys like it. It is pretty straightforward and simple, as you can see. It only takes about 10 minutes, roughly, to build an app from start to finish, although it's pretty simple. Now, we want to move to the next one, which is now I have built an app and how do I actually apply it to workflow. We also have Nicholas here. Nicholas is our product manager in workflow. Nicholas, do you want to say a few things before we play the demo?
Yeah, hey, thanks everyone for joining today. What we're actually going to see now is that app would connect built, and we're going to see it actually be used in a workflow that actually connects across the Zoom platform. You'll see a few actions and items, everything from working within team chat to leveraging Zoom AI Companion to do a summarization. And then we're going to take that information and we're actually going to go and send that off into the Zendesk ticket. So yeah, take it away, Brennan. Hey developers, now I want to go ahead and showcase how we bring together workflow automation, apps with Connect, and the Zoom platform to really help our customer use cases and provide a valuable usage for your apps. So first and foremost, what you'll see here is we're on workflow automation and we have a few workflows. But before we begin there, let's jump over to our team chat conversation. So here we're in a ask customer support channel and you can see there's a bunch of issues going on. It looks like there's a login issue, Brendan seeing some of the same things. There's another one with AI summary and they're not getting their summaries. And you can see the conversation goes on. So what we want to do actually is there's a lot of different elements that we can bring together on Zoom and then send that information off to an application. So when we go into workflow, what you can see here is I've created a kind of customer support demo. And so here, when you come on to the workflow canvas, what you'll see here is I can trigger a workflow, say with an emoji reaction. What we want to do is actually get the threads for the messages that we apply that reaction to. And we're actually going to use Zoom AI Companion to summarize. We're then going to go ahead and create that actual Zendesk ticket, the example that Brendan showed that he created. And then once we create that ticket, there's a bunch of output and variables we're going to get. We're going to populate that into a message. And then we're going to actually go ahead and populate that into a Zoom doc as well. So first, let me show you the full end-to-end, and then I'll show you some other notable details here. So first, let's go back to that conversation and let's look at that login loop again. I've commented, Brendan commented. So now let's just like add that emoji to that thread. And so what you'll see here is in the background, the workflow is working. And what we're going to see in a moment is workflow is going to go ahead. It's going to execute all the steps. It's going to create the Zendesk ticket, and then we're going to post back a response. So here we go. So you can see the workflow was executed. We created a new one. And so here I just gave it a timestamp. We provided a URL to the actual ticket. And then in addition to that, you can even see the AI companion summary. So multiple starter plan users are experiencing an issue. I reported something and Brendan reported something. So it's super cool is that now with a simple emoji reaction, support teams can respond in line. We can then go ahead also populate a weekly meeting agenda with that exact same issue, providing the ticket URL and all of that. And now when we go to look with our third-party connection into Zendesk, what you'll see here is as I refresh, Right here, here's that multiple starter plan issue. And so now not only is it documented in the conversation, it's in line and in the thread. So then, if we ever wanted to come back, in addition to this, it's also documented in our weekly agenda so people can quickly access. And lastly, it's actually documented in our document of record. So this is just one example of the power of what apps with Connect can do. And so here with our Zendesk example, again, we could create a brand new, update, delete. And the powerful thing is when we go ahead and provide all those input fields and connections, we can go ahead and actually populate all of this dynamically with output from previous steps in the workflow. So what you'll notice is that ticket comment that I used here, I was able to populate all with AI Companion running in the background. So what Zoom customers will be able to do is to actually take different elements, whether it's Zoom AI Companion or a conversation from a chat, or maybe there is a meeting summary, or maybe there's a brand new doc that's created, and move and dynamically add these items between different actions, which is super powerful. And again, I could actually go ahead, update the ticket, do a bunch of different things. But this is just a simple example and really showing the power of one, with the apps you build, how Zoom customers can create really unique workflows. Two, that your app now is front and center for customers to use, leverage, and act upon. And finally, we think with the workflow builder that we've built at Zoom, it's a super simple way for people to get work done. Nope. Brendan, I think you're on mute.
Classic. Well, thank you, Nick. Well, hopefully you guys like the demo that we show from end to end, from building a connector to actually applying on workflow. But the connector and actions actually goes beyond workflow. You can see a few other examples in here, from AI Companion to file sharing use cases, as well as search. So this is the power of building with a Connect features on the Zoom platform. Again, it's very easy to start and it's very easy to extend. In the app actions, actually, in this screenshots in here, as you can see in the previous demo, workflow is the only option because that's what we made available today. But we actually have more surface area coming soon with the app actions, including, just mention AI as well. Just because we're short on time, just want to wrap up the sessions. Want to show you guys what also is coming along the way when you're building with Connect and actions for workflow. Some of the things that were coming is you can actually do more customizations with the actions by providing code and script as well. So there are more flexibility even coming, and trigger basically an incoming events is also coming along the way. Anything else you wanted to add, Nick, before we go to Q&A?
No, I think that's great.
Cool. Now we only have about 5 minutes left, and open up the floor for questions.
Yeah, so I think the first question I'm seeing here is from Raj K. So the question is, in an AI world, what are your thoughts on building a natural language processing based workflow as opposed to drag and drop UI? Really interesting. What I can say is, I think your question to me is a little leading, but what I'll give you an answer is, yeah, we think there's a lot of opportunity to extend even further. So to give you some background on workflow, the drag and drop builder addresses a lot more customers and users, right? But it's still kind of in a technical realm, right? You need to kind of know inputs and outputs. If there is an error or something you need to test, you got to kind of be savvy enough to know that. What I can say without giving too much detail, but Zoom is considering how AI companion and workflow with natural language, we can accelerate the creation of workflows. So I think within the context of this group, whether you're a developer coming here today to build an app onto with Connect into workflow in these other places, or whether you're an internal customer and you're part of that developer team, we imagine a world where natural language processing will help a whole new set of users create workflows faster. So yeah, Raj, we are thinking about it and we are considering it. And I will say, look forward to Zoomtopia for some updates there.
Thank you, Nick. Any other questions from the audience? No questions. Yeah, and for those who wondering if the recording is going to be available, it will be. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoy the sessions, and we'll see you in the next one. The day is still young. I think there are a couple more sessions to go. So yeah, we'll see you guys again. Thank you for attending. Cheers.